for 8 hours each week. I completed my internship from Healing Minds in semester 3. It was around a 15 to 16 days internship and I completed more than 60 hours.
Internship spanned for about 2 to 3 months.
My internship for 15 days and it was for 60 hours.
My job experience entailed picking up case histories under the supervision, of course, of my mentors and understanding how different therapy formats work. For example, art therapy, speech therapy, sensory therapy, play therapy and various other forms of therapy. And behavioral therapy, most importantly, is made to understand how different psychometric tests are administered, what are the areas they measure, how the scoring is done, how the interpretation is drawn. Although I was not allowed to take up a psychometric test, I was given complete freedom to interact with the clients, some of the clients who were young children. Although everything was happening under the supervision of my mentors, I was also instructed on how to engage in different forms of therapy with them, and I did so with a lot of other clients.
Engaged in hands-on vocational work and had meaningful conversations with the women there. Worked as a volunteer there with multiple responsibilities, mainly in creative fields, including content writing, workshops, helped them prepare for their exhibition, their social media literacy. We even visited and worked with their food production team at their Sonarpur unit and many more.
Mentor in conducting fun activities especially during Fridays. And also I created lesson plans for them.
Where I was involved in event management for APJ Kolkata Literary Festival. My job was to assist the guests and coordinate with the organizing team so that the sessions ran smoothly.
I worked as a volunteer with them as it was an NGO. Job was actually to observe the NGO. I worked on several aspects, like I helped them with their creative work as it was also a vocational institute. So they come up with charts and everything that they use in their exhibitions. They do a lot of exhibitions in school, colleges. I helped them with the creativity, I helped them with the chart making, and I also helped them with social media because, you know, as an NGO, there are people who are not from our generation. We are very much tech savvy, we know a lot of things that are going on in social media. So it also helped them with the trends that are going on recently. So it helps them to increase their engagement in social media, mostly with their creative part of it. So I used to write some articles for them and also attended some seminars.
My main role was in grant writing, so I spent a lot of time researching potential funders and drafting proposals. Experience was good, however it was stressful because I had to manage classes as well as internship. Other than that, I completed most parts of my internship during the winter break, so it was not as stressful as some of my classmates who balanced both of them equally well.
Experience in Ankur Kala was very enriching and heartwarming. To be honest, they had a very inclusive environment which helped us to ease our nerves, and doing the internship with my college mates made it a very supportive and collaborative experience.
Really wonderful. I had a really good understanding mentor. So because of her, my experience was very smooth, and even the children were also, like, since I had my internship related to teaching, so even the children were cooperative and it went wonderful. Teaching, I could incorporate the teaching methods into my process, into my internship.
Honestly, it was a great learning experience. I got to see the behind the scenes of how organizations secure support and funding, and it made me realize how much thought and effort goes into writing something that seems so formal and structured from the outside. Physical structure made it really easy for me to balance with my other works. It gave me enough time to get involved in the work.
As a first-time intern, it was like every one of us was a bit scared. But when we went to the NGO and we became a part of it, we became comfortable by time and time. And I feel that internship, it is a very important thing to do because we learn a lot about what's going on in our society. As students, we go to the job world. We go out from our comfort zone and we start doing certain things which we are not very confident about. But since we become a part of it and we do what they do, so it is a very nice experience, I would say, because we learn a lot of things. There are many challenges that you'll face. There will be time when you'll think that this is not for me or I want to quit. but at the end of it you'll understand how important it is to do the internships, because you get a real life experience before you actually step into the job life. So I think it is a very important thing to do.
And it was a very enriching experience overall to understand how it actually takes place and the amount of patience that is needed, the amount of dedication that is needed, and the amount of happiness that you get when the client makes progress.
Internship taught me how to work with limited resources, how to communicate with people, and how and why to step out of your comfort zone. I learned to be a little more patient, especially from the women who shared their skills and stories so generously. But I learned that community, creativity, and kindness can truly transform lives, including my own.
Also, I could increase my empathy towards them. I learned how to adapt myself according to the students' IQ level. And also, finally, when I was teaching, I understood the struggle of the teachers. I could be there in their shoes and understand how they are so cooperative and understanding towards different children.
One big lesson I took away is that good writing can actually make a real difference. It's just not about fancy words. It's also about being clear, purposeful, and making sure the message connects. I also learned to be super detail oriented, which I think will help me in a lot of areas going forward.
The most important lesson that I learned is the effective teamwork and communication that taught me to stay calm, confident, and organized even under pressure.
I learned a lot from Ankur Kala. The first thing that I learned is how to behave when you actually step out to the job world. So it is very important. Many of us, we are not extrovert, maybe we do not feel like talking a lot. But when you go into a job field or when you go out of your comfort zone and you do some work, you understand how important it is to give your insights. So I learned how to communicate well. As I went to an NGO, so it helped me a lot to engage with people, which is very important when you're doing a job. You have to communicate, you have to engage yourself with the people you're working with. So I think that is very important, and I got to do that through Ankur Kala. I'm very happy and I'm very proud of it that I became a part of Ankur Kala, and I did some works which are not of my comfort zone, but I did it because they helped me a lot. So it all and becomes one end of the day. And as we went as a team, my department, I went with 15 girls of my department, and we grew much closer. So we understood the feeling of the community, the feeling of that friendliness, which is very important to grow as a person.